Also, Ellen was getting canceled during COVID when no one had anything to do.
Yeah.
Everyone was just online. So,
Hello, clowns.
I'm Ami.
I'm Yu Chen, and we're the hosts of Clown Bites Podcast.
We're two best friends who are chronically online and get together weekly to laugh and discuss all the clown behavior we see on the internet.
And there's so much.
Truly so much.
We're so glad to have you here to clown around with us, and we hope you enjoy the episode. Hey clowns, how's it going? Happy Friday or Monday for those of you who listen on Mondays.
Happy Friday to us. Thank the Lord. This has been such a long week for me.
Ami, are you allowed to share about your career changes?
Yes, I can, now that everyone knows. I quit my job this week. I gave a 3-week notice though, so I'm working for a bit, working a lot right now because trying to knowledge transfer everything and nothing was documented. Everything lived in my head because I was too lazy before. Now it's biting me in the butt. But I'm gonna start a new job soon and I can't wait. It'll be nice.
Unfortunately, we're not doing Clown Vibes permanently just yet.
Whenever I was leaving, one of the senior managers on my team was like, you should work on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, that's the plan.
I mean, we have a lot of exciting things to come. We don't know what that is, honestly, yet past this episode. But we have big plans.
Yes. Well, we're going to get to see each other so soon. Like in 5 days, we're going to get to see each other, which is wild.
Wild.
And a fun little surprise treat since we didn't think we were going to.
I guess I haven't really talked to you that much this week because I've been busy, which is the norm, but you've also been very busy, which is not the norm.
Yeah, I'm actually working for once.
I wanted to talk to you about how I've just seen on the internet so many stitches of this video from Kelsey Couture. Have you seen it on TikTok?
I have seen so many stitches, but I have not even really watched all of the stitches through because I just simply did not want to consume it. It was just not the vibe for me this week.
Okay, well...
Explain what happened.
Well, did you see the stitches first or did you see the original?
Stitches. I never saw the original.
Okay, interesting.
But through the stitch, I kind of pieced together what happened, but I'm not totally sure.
Okay. So this influencer on TikTok had posted about how she's in London and she overhears these 3 girls gossiping at this table next to her, and they were recently bridesmaids in their friend's wedding. And basically these 3 girls were just shit talking the wedding and saying how they hated the dresses that they wore, and the bride was super inconsiderate of the other bridesmaids, and how they were they were basically exaggerating when the bride had the dress reveal. You know what I'm talking about? The dress reveal for the bridesmaids. Yeah. And they had to put on their best acting face to act like they were so impressed by her. And basically this influencer, Kelsey Couture, was just if you had your wedding and these are your colors, your friends aren't really your friends. And it created a lot of backlash. So what's your first opinion of the video? If you saw this video without the stitches, where would your mind go?
Mm-hmm. I think I would just be isn't it better for this bride not to know and it to not ruin her memory of her wedding? And they did not tell her on purpose, so just leave it be. This was a fun convo, not fun, but this was a convo you could have eavesdropped on, told your friends. You didn't need to tell it on TikTok.
Okay, but is that your actual opinion of it? Because I feel and that is the backlash that so many people have stitched about, which is essentially you took it too far. Well, a bunch of people were saying, is it not safe to gossip anymore? Which I guess it's not. Oops.
Yeah, it just they could just be venting. They could be frustrated. Mm-hmm. They were not filtering their thoughts. It's just hurting everyone in the situation to send the internet to find this person, because you will. That person has, I'm sure, found out by this point.
Yeah, I'm very conflicted because she basically said if you were a bride, wouldn't you want to know? You wouldn't?
No, no, I don't want my memory of my wedding to be like ruined and like all of the pictures are going to be ruined. I'm sure those friends will show their true
Mm-hmm.
colors at a different time, but like it does not need to be associated to this girl's wedding. Like I wouldn't want it to be associated with my wedding.
I don't know. I guess I'm on the opposite spectrum, whereas, like, I feel like I would want to know, but I think what irks me about the situation, I think what, like, made other people upset is Kelsey was kind of using it as, like, a way to go viral, you know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and she basically references a different situation. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this situation, but like I think 2 years ago, this guy had made a TikTok and he's like, "If your name is this, just letting you know, your friends basically said that they couldn't attend your birthday party because like or they couldn't go out of town because of X reason, and it's because they like actually just don't want to go to your birthday party." Or something like that. And that was like
Yeah.
really well received on the internet because basically the girl found out and like she was really upset, but then like so many people wanted to become her friend. And Kelsey even like referenced the situation. She was just like, it really changed her life. But I think there's like a really clear difference between like Kelsey, the way Kelsey delivered the quote unquote gossip, and the way that the guy had delivered the quote unquote gossip.
Yeah. I think it's hard because you never know how everyone's going to react. And there's always going to be people who are like on both sides of like, yeah, this is whatever. And then people who are upset about it. And in this case, I personally wouldn't want to know. So I wish you didn't say. I think like going out of town for your birthday and saying no is like a little bit different than your bridesmaids trashing your wedding.
And like in to defend their bridesmaids, like no bridemaid likes their dress. Like honestly,
It's exactly what I was thinking when you said that. I was just like, okay, classic.
yeah.
And everyone has different styles. Like, they might not have liked their friend's dress, but it doesn't mean, like, well, I mean, it was really bitchy to say, like, we had to act and whatever. That
Okay.
they are don't seem like nice people, but like,
No, but that
I
situation,
don't
I was
know.
just like, I would have to act. Like, have you seen those reaction videos when everyone is like literally so dramatic?
That's
Unless you're
true.
like the dad, the mom, or the like husband, what are you dramatic for?
Yeah.
Like, what are you crying
Yeah.
about?
People were crying. Okay,
No, no,
yeah,
no,
no. I'd
not
be
in
like,
this
oh my God, you look so pretty,
situation.
but that's the extent of
Not
it.
in this
Yeah,
situation, but
okay,
like
okay,
I've
okay.
seen videos where like the friends are crying and I'm just like, for what?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like they were venting. And of course, everyone's gonna like have more exaggerated emotions when you're venting.
Okay, but
And can you not have a private conversation at dinner? Like, I just don't like that.
I guess not. But like, we should talk all the time. So I guess I'll be like, watching my back
Yes.
of it.
Like, what the hell? At any dinner, I'm not supposed to like say a thing. I'll be like, let's go home and talk. And now it's like, you can't text anything but bad. You have to like call the person. Now you can't like say anything in public
Nah,
bad. You have to like go home and say
I
it.
I always text people. Oh, I still text. I'm just like, yeah, you can screenshot my text. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I mean, like, fine, but you're not like, if you were committing fraud or something, you wouldn't want to put it in writing.
Okay. I don't think saying what I truly believe is committing
No,
fraud.
I know. But, like, same
Okay, but
vibe.
I want to pose a different situation. So we've also seen people say like if your fiance went on his bachelor party in Nashville and he was with his buddy and his name is like blah, just letting you know I saw him making out with this girl. Have you seen videos like this?
Yes, and that I think is fine and justified.
Okay, but why? What's the clear difference?
I don't think it's a one size fit all. I think it's like in this situation, she's getting like whoever this his wife is or fiance is like gonna marry this guy who's cheating on her. And like this situation, it's already done. The wedding is done.
That's true.
Were they talking about how they didn't want to be in the wedding prior to it, then it's like, okay, sure, whatever. Maybe this is gonna like help her not have people in her pictures and stuff that she's not gonna have in her life. But after it's done, like leave it be.
Yeah, I guess this whole like wedding thing, I don't know. Personally, I think weddings aren't that serious, but other people might think differently. But if I were to like overhear this
Yeah.
situation, and it was even prior to the wedding, I would just be like, I guess they didn't man up and like say they didn't want to be in the bridal party.
Yeah, I would not like I would listen to it, of course, but not do a single thing about
Yeah.
it. because what is there to do? We're like getting involved in other people's life for what purpose?
Mm-hmm.
It was fully for her to go viral on TikTok. Like those things always go viral on TikTok.
Yeah. And that kind of like brings me to kind of the reason why I brought it up is really related to our main topic. But I feel like this girl gets called out all the freaking time. And it's funny because I don't know if you know the like lore of Kelsey Couture, but like I first found out about her because she called out another influencer. She called out Danielle Bernstein of We Were What for basically copying her. Do you remember this?
What did she copy her? I mean, she copies everyone, right?
Yeah,
Danielle
yeah.
Bernstein. So
But
like, which piece did she copy of Kelsey's?
Kelsey like post, and I distinctly remember this because I was in my prime, like I hate Danielle Bernstein face because I was bored.
Yeah,
But
I remember
Kelsey
this.
like posted these like four. This was when posting like four pictures together, kind of like a Polaroid picture, was really in. And Kelsey posted like
Hmm.
four different poses and like wrapped her sweater around her shoulders in an interesting way and like wrapped it around her body in an interesting way. And basically, Danielle like did something similar literally the next day, and Kelsey called her out on it. Obviously, I bet she was like an influencer beforehand, but this is the first time that I was exposed to her. And I mean, I'll go
Yeah.
into Danielle Bernstein later in the episode, but I feel like Kelsey came to prominence because she was like calling out, canceling, holding accountable. I don't know. The terms are all mixed up in my head now. Another influencer. And now I feel like
Yeah.
every single month I see something calling out Kelsey Couture like frequently, and I'm confused. I'm confused.
The internet loves calling people out. That's everyone's favorite pastime.
But is it calling people out or is it cancel? Are we trying to cancel them? Are we trying to hold them accountable? I think like 2 years ago, canceling, we
We
were
were
canceling.
canceling. Yeah.
You even said the word canceled in one of our episodes about Girls Gotta Eat, and I was just like, are they canceled?
No, no, they weren't canceled. I used it like
Lightly, yeah.
in like an exaggerated way. Yeah. They're not canceled, but they're like on the
Yeah.
outs.
So, I mean, this episode is to talk all about is cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
Yeah, is cancel culture over? And if it is, what's next?
Okay, to set the backdrop for what cancel culture is, it came into collective consciousness around 2017 after the idea of canceling celebrities for problematic actions or statements became popular. So it was like really around the Me Too era.
Mm.
I think like it was around the Taylor Kim Kanye beef.
That was way before
That's when,
2017, though, wasn't it?
oh, that was 2016.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
guess like it started like there was a lot of celebrity feuding going on at that time, and it started becoming like really talked about, I think, around that time. And this article I read said it has roots in early 2010 Tumblr blogs. Notably, apparently there was a Your Fave is Problematic blog that discussed like why celebrities were imperfect. And I think like people love to know how celebrities are imperfect because obviously we put them up on a
Mm-hmm.
pedestal, but it's gotten very serious in a way that I feel like the Tumblr blogs probably weren't, not having like really looked at them, but I think it's gotten more intense than it probably was before.
Well, the whole concept of canceling someone because they're problematic is confusing to me because why would we think that any person is perfect?
Yeah.
And you know what? Our presidents do so much stupid shit, and it's not like it's so hard to impeach them.
Honestly, no. It's really interesting what people get canceled for. And then there's some things where it's like, yeah, they should never be like in the limelight again and they're like actually bad people. But then there's sometimes when people get canceled and you're just kind of like,
I would do
yeah, that
that.
was bad, but
Yeah.
was it this bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was also, I know that like it's not great to say, but 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, people weren't like not worried about what they were saying and like what was like appropriate to say or not. And they were just kind of speaking into this inner web
Mm-hmm.
and doing whatever they wanted, especially the canceling that comes when people are unearthing really, really old tweets. It's not unfair, I guess. Like, you should call that out if you want, I guess. But canceling fully that way is feels weird.
I always say I need to scrub my Facebook
Yeah.
and Twitter if we ever get really big because I don't know. Like I was a we were all different people then,
Yeah,
and like I don't think I said anything bad, but like things that are not acceptable now were pretty acceptable back then, and at this
exactly.
point, you can probably get quote unquote canceled for anything.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't even understand. Like, remember when Kelsey got canceled when we went to
Oh
Yosemite?
yeah.
I just didn't even get it. I didn't even get what was going on, like what she was supposed to do. And she got canceled in, I mean, like canceled, whatever. We're using that really lightly. Like in July because she had a song with the N word, but she wasn't saying it. It was just like in the background of her video, this like rap song.
Hmm.
And that's not allowed. And I don't know. I think I really tried to figure out why, and I couldn't find out why.
Yeah. And Ami and I are clearly not in the community where the N word originated
Yeah,
from. So we obviously can't speak for why people are offended. But I think I've seen past videos where people have been able to just have that video playing or had that song playing in the video with the N word and it hasn't caused such an issue. And so what's like weird is like we just never know because we're not educated, I guess,
yeah,
on what would cause backlash.
yeah,
Like that situation really confused me. I'm
yeah,
still confused to this day.
yeah. And like, I would love to know why. Like, I won't do it, obviously, because I don't want to get in trouble or offend anyone. Mostly, I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm not putting the pieces together right now myself. Like,
Hmm.
what was offensive?
Okay, which like leads me to one of my points is that do you think cancel culture has created an air of like fear around social media?
Yeah, it definitely has. Like the smallest things, even our like random videos get stitched in. We're like, what just happened here? Like, it is scary, and you're like being very vulnerable already, putting like any content out, and then to have to like really review your content in a way of like, how can I not offend a single person? Like that's impossible. You're
Everyone's
always going to
offended.
offend someone. Like people are just getting online to be offended, and that's like fine, that's their prerogative, but it's very hard,
Hmm.
I think, to be a content creator, influencer, like anyone in kind of the quote unquote public eye.
In a way, I feel like it makes people more inauthentic now. Like you said, back then, people spoke more freely, especially Twitter was a wild, wild time back like
Yeah.
6 years ago. And maybe that's why like old tweets are surfacing. But
Mm-hmm.
I think now people are definitely more, I don't know, conservative in what they put out on the internet.
Yeah. Even back then, I never really tweeted my every thought or like whatever, but I'm sure I wrote dumb stuff on Facebook all the time. I used to write, like, I'm watching this show today. So like, I'm sure I said something that was maybe not the correct way to phrase
Uh-huh.
it.
Especially growing up with immigrant parents, I feel like I've picked up on some
Yeah,
really problematic things that they say.
for sure. And like, we didn't necessarily know at
Hmm.
that time. Like, obviously, we know now, but it is tough.
Yeah. Okay. How do we think like social media and the evolution of social media, the different types of social media has led to the shift in cancel culture? Because I was having this conversation with someone about 2 months
Hmm.
ago about like what is in and what's out. And he's like, oh, canceling's out. And I was like, it is because no one told me. And also, I mean, good for us because I'm not trying to cancel anyone nor am I trying to get canceled, but who decided this and why is there not like a newsletter that goes out? But like how do people know that canceling is over?
I actually Googled it for our episode, like, is canceling out? I couldn't really find anything that, like, explained
But
it.
remember we talked
But I
about
think
it
it's
and we were
that,
both like we think it's out, but like
yeah.
why do we both think it's out?
Yeah. I think because it's not as black and white, not as serious is the wrong word. It's not as abrupt as it used to be. People who are canceled are still allowed to apologize and like grow from it and don't lose their following, right? But a few years ago, when you were canceled, you were done. Like you needed to take a long hiatus. You were not going to be able to bounce back. Right now, I think people are able to bounce back a little quicker, which is why we have this feeling that canceling is out.
Okay, here's my theory is that,
Do you agree?
yeah,
Okay.
with like Instagram and Twitter, it is so easy for the mob to like just start attacking you.
Yeah.
And when like you start to get attacked, when the mob, like when a mob starts to be created, it's really hard to bounce back from that.
So hard. Yeah.
And I think with the slowdown of Twitter and Instagram, I think people are just, I don't know, taking it less seriously. And then, like, with people using TikTok, I mean, this is all my theory, but the way that the TikTok algorithm works is you're still seeing videos on a specific topic, whether they know what side you are on. Like, I've seen stitches in support of
Yeah.
Kelsey. I've seen Kelsey's comments where they're like, I would want you to do this. Like, if I were the bride, I would have wanted you to say it. So
Yeah.
there's more of a way for you to be able to identify the like opposing view. But I don't know, maybe because it's not like people are calling people out less. If anything, I think they're calling people out more.
Yeah, that's right. And I think like TikTok, you have such a short attention
Mm-hmm.
span, right? Like each video is, well, now that they're pushing 1 minute plus videos, who the hell knows? But like videos are so quick. You're watching like 20 videos, 30 videos at a time. You're not going to like remember one video that's calling out this person. Even if you see like 5 of those, like 10% of your videos are about this topic, like you're still seeing so much quantity of content that it's fleeting in your mind.
Do you think Joe Jonas would have gotten canceled a week ago if canceling was still in?
No, I don't think he did anything necessarily bad enough to get canceled. Like, is he being a dickhead? For
Mm-hmm.
sure. Is he being like a baby? Yeah, for sure. But like, I don't know that like him putting out things on TMZ is worthy of him being canceled. He's getting enough backlash. Like, that's enough. That's the kind of like celebrity backlash I care about. It's just being like, Joe
Mm-hmm.
is a dummy. Like, what is he doing?
At this point,
But you don't need to do anything to Joe.
yeah, at this point, I haven't seen anyone like fully unable to bounce back. I don't know. Can you think of anyone?
No, I mean, on our outline, you have Ellen, and I was like, I forgot Ellen existed. And the fact that she has a new show, that's hella bouncing back, and she was the woat.
So we've pulled from history people who have been canceled in the past few years. Wanted to check in on them. Okay, so the first one was Ellen, and she
Okay.
did get canceled. She got hella canceled because it came out that she had basically a very toxic environment of bullying and manipulation, which basically caused like the end of her show. And this was like peak Dakota Johnson, maybe like AD. I don't know. Dakota Johnson came out and basically said, like, there's this
Yeah.
clip of Ellen in which Ellen was like, oh, you didn't invite me to the party. And Dakota Johnson, who's in this very fabulous Christmas, like, plaid outfit. And that outfit is
Yeah.
forever, like,
She looks so
ingrained in my
good.
mind. But she was like, Ellen, I did invite you, but you declined the invite. And I was like, oh my fucking God, this is so juicy. But like that, coupled with like some other notes from like other celebrities and people saying, and people who worked on her show saying that it was a toxic environment, she got hella canceled. The show that was like so celebrated for what, like 12-ish seasons, a really long runway.
Yeah, it was a really long show.
Is no more. And now she is what she calls herself unemployed, which she is. But like during her unemployment, she was like, I want to create more of like a documentary type series, just like basically documenting her life at home with Portia.
Who cares about her life, though?
So is she still
guess
canceled?
people-
I think she is because I think she just has money to create a series. It's not like people are really
That's
giving
true.
her, like they desperately want this information from her, you know?
Yeah. Did you Google this or did you know about it already?
I Googled it. So I didn't even know about
Okay.
it. Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't know about it and I am chronically online. So you're right. I think she is still canceled.
Which is interesting. But like, has she tried to bounce back and not be canceled?
I don't think so because I don't think she's had like a genuine moment post this situation where people can see like she has learned from it. I think that might be the key to coming back is like pandering to the world.
You have to issue a public apology and you have to somewhat mean it.
But like it has to be
Yeah.
genuine. It can't, yeah, it can't be like a notes app apology. And you have to do the notes app apology, but then like a while later you have to come back and be like, these are the things I've learned. In some form or fashion, you know?
Fan Vibes PR. I mean, we're just going to give this advice for free. If you ever get canceled, first off, put a notes app apology on your Instagram account.
I had to issue a notes app apology this year, and it was okay, like well-ish received.
Second, depending on what you've done and how severe the issue is, you may need to post it on your grid too. But if you post it on your grid, you have to turn it off. You have to turn off comments. And third, you have to create a video, preferably on TikTok, not Instagram, where it like goes away after 24 hours. But
Yeah, not on your
not on your
story.
stories.
If you put it on your grid, I guess fine.
And you have to be a little teary-eyed. You just have to. You got to learn how to cry.
Yeah, you have to learn how to cry, and you have to be like, what I did was
Mhm.
wrong because of this, and I have learned that, and I will work towards not doing it again. In some fashion, has to say those things.
Yeah. Because if you
Then
do,
you'll be
if you
fine.
try to skirt around the issue, if you do not directly apologize and say you were in the wrong, the people will cancel you again.
Yeah. You will just continue to be trashed.
Whenever I was reading up on Ellen, I was like, oh my gosh, this kind of reminds me of what's going on with Jimmy Fallon right now. Have you seen anything about it?
Looked into it briefly, forgot, and I re-googled it this morning.
I mean, essentially, it just came out that he was drunk while on air and that he was also very toxic during his show.
Yeah. I saw that employees had to go to the guest like dressing rooms to cry, which that's bad.
Yeah. But do you think he's getting canceled?
No, it's not that out there. But you know what? I think Jimmy Fallon was just like,
He don't give a
I
fuck.
personally never
Yeah.
really liked him.
No,
Yeah.
I think there was
He's always like had the air
arrogance.
of that. And you know, like what's funny is so did Ellen.
Mhm.
Like you can tell
Yeah.
in their interviews and stuff. So I'm not surprised. I don't think he's being canceled because no one gives a shit about him.
No one gives a shit. And I also feel like, his show ended. And so, like, there's no really repercussions.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he cares. He's also rich enough.
Like was the show canceled or is it taking a break between seasons?
I think the show is over. Let me look this up right now.
Oh.
I looked this up. It's not canceled. Maybe.
Okay.
Well, I guess the difference with like
Now it'll probably be
I
canceled.
don't know. Because I feel like
Don't you think so? Aren't they like putting a lawsuit against him or no?
maybe I just feel like it hasn't gotten the attention that Ellen got. Like the thing with Ellen
That's
is
true.
that she was so beloved, and like I feel like people didn't really like Jimmy that much.
No. Also, Ellen was getting canceled during COVID when no one had anything to do.
Yeah.
Everyone was just online. So that also did not help Ellen. Right now, the world has other things like to think
Yeah.
about.
There are more people to cancel too.
Yeah, there's like so much worse stuff going on, which creating a toxic work environment is very bad.
There are
But
worse toxic
on the
work
things of-
environments.
Yeah. There and like on the list of things to like worry about right now, Jimmy Fallon, I don't give one iota of shit about. Like,
Okay, who's next?
okay, let's do Chrissy Teigen. I used to love Chrissy Teigen. Yujin right before the episode asked like, but what did you like about her? I actually don't even know. Like, I loved watching her videos of Luna, her like little daughter, and just she was funny. She was really snarky. She watched Bravo. I just liked following her.
I liked that she was half Asian.
Mm,
And I
yeah.
liked her cooking content.
Yeah, her cooking content. And she was really like quote unquote real because like she would just post herself playing around all the
Yeah.
time. I'm like, love that for you. You're being what a celebrity is, but not pretending like you're not.
She was relatable.
Yeah.
So she got canceled because some snarky tweets, and also anecdotally it came out that she was bullying someone that basically ended her.
Yeah.
It was scary.
did she delete everything? She like deactivated things for a while. She really fell off the
Mm-hmm.
grid because after that happened, like when she did come back, I have cared way less. She's never really on my feed as much anymore. I don't know what the heck she's doing
She's
these
censoring
days. Now she just
herself.
has so many babies.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
less snarky, which is sad because guys, we need to be less sensitive. We really do because I need
Yeah.
some enjoyment in my life.
Like the bullying, the cyberbullying that she got canceled
Yeah,
for,
that's
fair.
fair.
Like the bullying was really bad. But like when you're being a little bit snarky about like random Bravo shows or pop culture, whatever, like it's funny. Everyone is being snarky about that. You're supposed to be. Like that is a form of living. Like I don't know.
Exactly. So I think she has bounced back a bit.
She
Yeah.
has.
I wonder
Not fully, but
if
enough.
her like cravings line is still on target. Do you know?
Ooh, I don't know, but I assume yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to check. But I definitely feel like she has slowly bounced back. And I think it's because, like, although did she issue like an official apology? Do you remember?
I think so. She
Yeah.
has to have.
I think she gave it enough time.
Yeah, that's the thing. She gave it enough time. She did not try to come back immediately. She really chilled out for a long time. Then she slowly came back. People forgot what she got canceled for. That's also the key. Don't come back until people have forgotten.
These days, people forget so fast.
So fast. I don't remember a single thing. So, like, it's fine. Like, just wait a couple of months and I'll have
Hmm.
forgotten.
The thing is that these people, it's like their job to be an actress, an actor, or like an entertain or be online. Like sometimes that's like their job.
Yeah.
You know how there are certain people who got canceled during COVID for like basically being racist, but they were normal people and they basically like lost their job? I feel like the difference
Yeah.
is that you were canceled, but you could maybe still get another job. I don't know. Like
Mm-hmm.
in that case, I feel like I give celebrities a little bit of grace to come back because it's your job to have a platform
This is
at
their
the end of the
job.
day.
Yeah.
And people choose to follow who they want to follow. Like
Yeah, for
if
sure.
you don't support Chrissy Teigen, you don't have to follow her. And that's that.
Exactly. Like when especially she gave you such a long time of being away. When she came back, if you had forgotten to unfollow her back then, you can unfollow now. Like it's fine. I think like if you didn't do really anything that harmful to a person and you're trying to come back, I get it. You have to make money.
Yeah, you do.
You have to live a life. Like Chrissy Teigen can't like get a day job. What will she do? You know?
I don't think she needs to work yeah.
I mean, yeah, like say she did not have John Legend as her husband. Say she did have to get a job, like literally where who would hire her because it would just be so distracting to the whole company. Imagine being on a marketing call with Chrissy Teigen. Like, no way.
I just want to mention Danielle Bernstein because I mentioned it at the top of the episode, but this girl is like
Yeah.
the cockroach that keeps on living. I think people like try to cancel her daily at this point.
Yeah, religiously. She is being canceled from all angles at all times and is thwarting everyone.
I'm really confused why. Not that like I wish for her to get canceled. I find her like her line and the hate that she gets really amusing. But for the people who don't know who Danielle Bernstein is, she used to
Yeah.
be this like one of the OG fashion influencers. She had this Instagram called We Were What, and then she became a designer. She started out in like swimwear and now has like a ready wear line. But she first became canceled like a few years ago because it was surfaced that like she edits her photos. But the big thing is that she's
Mm.
like a big copier of other influencers and other designers. There are clear examples of where she like copied people.
Yeah.
And every single time, like her line just continues. Like, I don't know how her line is making money. I'm really curious to see what the like top line and bottom line of their financials looks
Yeah.
like. But like, I don't know how she's still getting funded to support her line if she continues to get such bad press. But maybe that's just like a very niche side of the internet that I'm seeing, and people love her
I think it
stuff.
is. I think like one, she copies small enough people that they don't really have the resources to fight back besides on social media. Like they're not really taking the legal route. And not everyone's on social media like following this kind of stuff. I don't think it's that prevalent. which is really helpful for her.
I saw an interview from this person who is the founder of Sporty and Rich. And I think she was talking about Danielle
Mm-hmm.
Bernstein. She might not, but she was basically saying, she's like, I get irked when like small designers copy me because she's a small designer. Whereas if it was like an H&M or a Mango that copies me, I'm like, fine with it. And she's like, it's because that small designer is probably taking away customers from me because we have like the same demographic, whereas people who are shopping as
Mm-hmm.
R and H&M are probably not like shelling out like that premium that I charge for my designs, and like I don't really care about them.
Interesting. I guess that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Like it's the same pool of people. And I don't consider We Wore What in that H&M
Yeah.
bracket. So she is really stealing people
Yeah.
from the true designer.
But every time I get a I hate Danielle Bernstein video or TikTok, I'm just like, this is just for shits and giggles because she's still gonna, We Were What's gonna be out there for like another 20 years.
She has survived scandal
Mm-hmm.
after scandal. I think I only get some stuff about her because of you. To wrap it up, recently in the news, there's been a lot of backlash against Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis for their letters to the judge for the Danny Masterson case. How much do you know about it?
That basically like they sent a letter in support of his like character and they had to issue an
Yeah.
apology.
They basically asked the judge for leniency on his sentencing of Danny Masterson, who was convicted of 2 counts of rape and sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. And Mila and Ashton were actually only like 2 of many, many celebrities who wrote letters, but they're particularly getting called out because one, I think they're the biggest of names on that list. And then also like Ashton Kutcher has a like nonprofit or company or something that helps to stop sex trafficking. So it's just really hypocritical
Yeah.
for him to like write a letter like this. And it's clear obviously that they thought it was going to be sealed, and they have been doing like random press stuff, like letting people stay in their house on Airbnb and like doing random campaign stuff like that to try to, I guess, mitigate any backlash if there was going to be. But I don't think they realized like how intense things were going to be.
Well, do you think they're getting canceled?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Well, you know what? I don't
I think we're at the beginning of
I don't
it.
even think Mila and Ashton are are acting really. Like I don't even think they need the work.
I think Mila is.
Really? What is she in?
She's been in some like random movies or something like the last few years, but like not anything crazy. I don't think they like need the money, but they are at the end of the day public figures.
Yeah.
So they must be making money from being a celebrity somehow.
I think Ashton is in serious trouble with his nonprofit, like, which sucks because I don't know if I told you this, but I like looked into working for them, where I was like looking into like jobs that they had open because I really love their mission. But
yeah, for sure,
you can't be the face of a nonprofit that like stops sex trafficking for girls and send like a letter to a judge for a
convicted rapist. Yeah. I mean, obviously I didn't read the letters, but I saw a bunch of TikToks talking about them, and the letters were basically like, he has a daughter, like he's not that person anymore, like whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay, he's not that person to you guys, but he's clearly that person. Mm-hmm. And what about the victims?
Yeah.
And did you really think like your little letter was gonna make a difference enough that you would send it? I guess maybe, because they are celebrities at the end of the day. And they do get off quick, like easily on things.
I guess like the letters, what do they do for the court system? I'm actually confused that these letters would help anything at all. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of how like for MBA programs, if you don't get in, you can get like people to write letters for you. I'm just like, this is some,
oh really?
Yeah, this is some archaic shit. Like this is some like old money networking type of power at play.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know, they're basically begging the judge to have a smaller sentence, and then maybe sometimes the judge listens. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, but their apology video was bad. It was very bad. They were reading from a script. It was really, really awkward. They weren't, you're an actor, an actress, like, act better. I don't know. It was very rushed.
They did not reach out to Clown Vibes PR.
No, they didn't. And I wouldn't have helped them, but I would have been like, just don't do any of this. Like, honestly, they should have hidden a little bit, come back with a good video, taken the time to create a real apology, because their apology is just getting trashed now. Like, I don't know. I don't know that they're getting canceled. Only time will tell. But they are facing a lot of backlash.
Yeah. I think it goes back to like our original question, is cancel culture over? It is, but like I think the difference now in like
Yeah.
quote unquote accountability culture is it moves more slowly. Like cancel culture just seems like such a
Mm-hmm.
big, like everyone's making a big statement about something, whereas like cancel or accountability culture is more like quiet quitting, where the backlash isn't immediate, but it will make a dent.
And there's a tailwind to it. Like, it'll be there for a
Hmm.
while, but they're not gonna like shove you into a hole and be like, go into hiding for a little bit. We're not doing that
Yeah.
anymore. Which, for better or for worse, is where we are, I think. Is how I'm feeling we are in this world currently. Thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on all social media at Clown Vibes Podcast or email us at clownvibespodcast@gmail.com.
And if you like our show and want to support us, please like, subscribe, and give us a rating and review. That's it for today. Bye,
Bye,
clowns.
clowns.